Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is 2 p.m. This is Connie, and I'm live from Urbana. And I have a Christmas card today that we're going to make. I'm excited about it, even though it's not my design completely. So this card right here is a card that was made during one of my classes, and it's a shaker. And I enjoyed making it so much. And so I thought, I have things to make this in a Stampin' Up! Version. And I think I can even do it better. And so I started putting things together that I thought would work. And that's what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna set this card over here. So, announcement, Friday. I have not decided if I'm gonna go live in the morning or not. I've got some things I need to do. And then Friday evening is our event where I'm gonna make Christmas cards like crazy. I'm gonna go live in this group. And I have a Simple Stories pack that is just beautiful that I think will make a bunch of bulk Christmas cards. And I need to get those made because I have some cards I want to get sent to JJ before Thanksgiving. And I thought, well, I'll just throw these in if I get them done. So that's sort of my tentative plan for Friday. And I hope that you can join me. It's so weird to be talking on here when nobody else is on here. And I'm on here by myself chatting alone. It's so much more fun when there's other people. Anyway, so I got out. I love this Peaceful Seasons set. It's got all kinds of really great messages. But the best thing in the whole set is this Christmas word right here, and I thought we could use it today. It's got some great banner dies and things that will hold ribbon, and very nice. And then I'm in love with this Distressed Tile 3D embossing folder, and I really want to use it. I think it's very elegant looking, and it makes sort of a light background. And if you look at the card from my class, see if you can really see, there is a design on this cardstock that is like diamond patterned, and it's like an embossing faceplate. It's not an embossing folder, and I don't want to get into buying a bunch of embossing face plates when I have so many amazing embossing folders. So that is my thought to use for the background. And I want to talk a minute about this one. Hi, Heather. I just got started. You have good timing. This is the Hang and Ornament set. And, you know, ever since I got it, I've been just a little bit disappointed in it because it's not what I thought it was. So today I'm going to use it, and I'm going to use it in a way that will make me happy with it. And so I'm kind of excited that I have the stamps and the dies for it. And here's the issue that I have with it. Okay. The die has these little notches on it. There's 3 of them where they don't cut through. And the way it's supposed to work, apparently, is you put it on your paper and then you peel it. It's like a thing that people can peel off. And then you can hide things behind it. But I just wanted a really nice, you know, ornament. I don't know. So I'm going to use that today. Now, I do not store my stamps and dies in these awesome cases because they take up so much space and my room is very small. But I started storing parts and pieces and things in here. So when I have a lot of extra, you know, bits, like there's from the trees, you know, things like that, I've been putting them inside of there so that I can store them. And wow, those work better than any folder that I've been buying. So let me get out all the little pieces. There are so many little tiny pieces to this set, or to this card, that this worked out really nicely. All right, so we have a card base, standard A2 card base, and it'll be almost the last thing that we use. So I'm going to set it aside. There is a gold foil piece that's going to nest onto there, that's great. And then we're gonna make a shaker. This is the back and this is the front. And with a shaker, you need acetate. And this is the close to my heart acetate. And what's nice about it is it has a film on it so you can see it. If you lay it on your table, it's harder to lose. But there is that. And then I have this, okay. Here, I went ahead and pre-cut the word Christmas out from this die set. It is incredibly detailed. It's gorgeous. I love it so much. But the cool part is you can run this through and make a background for it. And just think you can do that in any color. I just think that's really, really cool. So I'm gonna real quick, while I have the pieces are just so darn small, you guys, so small. I'm going to put this together just so I don't lose all the parts and pieces, right? So I'm just going to put this on here and wiggle it into place. And when I get it where I want it, I'm just gonna push like that. Yeah, that looks good. This is a little low. And you just kind of move it to where you want it and pinch it down. Now, there is a little bitty, tiny, teeny weeny little dot that goes over the eye. And this is the piece that I swear, I don't know where my little pickup stick is right now. Somebody borrowed it the other day, and I need to get my other one out. But there, look at that. Tiny little dot on the Christmas eye. There we go. Anyway, so that is gonna go, instead of the holiday wishes on this card, I'm gonna use Merry Christmas. Now I have, if you get glue on your foil, which sometimes I do because I'm sloppy, it's not too hard to remove. I just kind of rub it off, especially if you use like Barely Art glue. If you use the green lid Tombow, boy, just don't do it. Just be careful. Because once that is on there, boy, it is hard to remove. Sometimes an eraser, sometimes you can use your rub and remove eraser on that, but on that gold foil it shows up. All right, so there's my Christmas dies. Now the other die that I pulled out of here is this little banner, and it's very small, but I went ahead and cut it in gold because I want this to say like Merry Christmas. And so I went ahead and gold embossed the word Merry. I got that word from here. Right there. I just stamped the Merry and gold embossed it. So, you know, hey, that works great. And so I'm just gonna trim this down I want this to fit on this gold foil really nicely. Let me just do a little trim. I'm trying to put my garbage off to the side. Sorry, that's why I keep going off camera. I think I could take a little off the top too. Okay, and now I'm just gonna dot a little glue on there and put the word Mary in place. There we go. I like liquid glue because you can scooch it a little bit and make it as straight as possible. And then I'm gonna set that, you know, all of these parts off to the side to dry. I have no idea why I have this piece in here. I can't remember. I'm gonna put it off to the side too. I have no idea. I went ahead and I gold embossed some pieces out of this ornament set. You know, I could have done this while I was on, you know, on the live, but I just thought, you guys have seen me emboss a few times. I don't think you need to watch all of that detail, especially since we're gonna build a shaker. So these little pieces are what I have left. I did this little leaf, a couple, 2 or 3 of these, and I went ahead and cut from here this little ornament topper, and I did a couple of them. All right, so let's put that aside. Let's put these little, I think I might leave those in there. I'm not quite ready for those, and I don't want to lose them. Good enough. All right, so the very first thing we want to do to get ready for our shaker is we want to get the cover ready. And the cover is going to be embossed with this cool distress tile embossing folder. Oh, I got my wrong plate out for that. Just a second. I have 2 sets of plates because I'm lazy. I have 1 set for cutting and 1 set for embossing. What's cool about these embossing folders is there is a line across the bottom, so you can use that line to make sure your paper is as straight as possible and then emboss. Now always put I always put my embossing folder on my platform crooked so I don't get into the speed bump, ba-boom, ba-boom kind of thing. And I always put it into my machine with the folded part first, okay? So I have that a little bit off camera. I could have left my camera wide angle. I don't think you can see it from where you are though. Okay, so I just used the platform and the adapter plate for the 3D folders. And look how beautiful that is. Now, when you use these embossing folders, the side that has the logo is the pretty side, what I call the embossed side. The other side is the debossed side, the pushed in side, which I usually consider the back. Although it's just as pretty as the front. It's just, I always think of the way these work is the pretty side is the part that pops up at you. Okay, so we're done with our embossing folder. I'm just gonna slide this in here and switch plates. Now I have my other plates. Okay, so the thing that we need to cut next are ornaments. We need to cut the holes where we're going to see the parts, the window, right? Because like they cut out the ornament in this one. Well, these ornaments are a lot smaller in size, and I didn't think it looked good with just one. So I think I'm gonna cut two, and so let me get that ready. This will be like the top of our card, bottom of our card. It'll be a vertical card, and I'm gonna put one here and one here. But I need them connected because we want that window to be, you know, like one big window, not two small windows. I guess you could do two small windows if you really wanted to. All right. I'm just gonna put that on, put that through my machine. You may see it shaking again. Because my camera holder is on my table, and when I run my platform through, it shakes. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. All right, good, focus, yes. All right, so there's a little notch right there, a little notch right there, and a little notch right there where it didn't pop through. And so technically, like if I wanted to, I could write the word pull. You could pull this up, somebody could have a little ornament to hang, and then behind it could be a message. But I just want the window. So here's me playing with these crazy dies. You may have a different set of ornament dies that do not do this. I wish they would not have made them this way, but I have a plan for this also that I think would be really cool. Okay, now we have that. Now we want a second like bauble hanging down, right? And they need to interlock, or, you know, cross over each other. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that one out too. Okay, so you're probably wondering, now that I've embossed I used my embossing folder, and now I'm squishing it back out again. And yeah, I am. I tried it both ways, and it works, like to emboss it after you cut the little ornaments out, and it works great. But I want these ornaments to have this cool texture on them too. So I thought I'm okay with it. So you can see it still has the texture. It's just not raised up like it was. So the other thing that I did just to play around, just to see if this worked, is I got my folder back out and lined it all up, which is fussy, and then ran it through again to re-pop up this whole thing. And I was like, I don't think that was worth it. But you sure can if you want to. I mean, no reason why you can't. All right. So our plan now is to create this elevated platform. So the first thing we have to do is we have to put our window on, because the window is the most important part of our shaker. Now, where did I put that? Like I just told you, it's hard to lose this window because it has a film. There it is. Okay. So the first thing I have to do is figure out which side is the filmy side. One side, this has like a protective piece of film on it, and you just put your scissor on there and peel it off. And that, it's kind of like when you get those like electronics or something that have like a protective layer, you know what I mean? And that keeps it from getting all scratched up. Now, the problem with window plastic is that it's staticky, like really bad. So I want to show you a trick for that. Let me grab a paper towel. I usually just run it to the sink and run it under water. And if you spritz it with water, and then, all right, get everything out of the way so it doesn't get wet. And then you dry it off. it takes so much of the static out of it. It really works really pretty good. And I don't like the anti-static powder tools very much on these windows. If I don't have to use very much, that is all good, because you know, when you use sequins, you have to do something to get the static out of the way, right? You just do. All right, let me just see how much that's gonna cross over. You can use any adhesive, any, you know, your tape runner. I'm just gonna run this around the edge. You just don't want it on your window plastic, like where it shows through. So I'm gonna use liquid. There we go. All right, so I have my window on there, and I'm just gonna set that aside to dry while we get this part ready. You know, I love these little thin strips from Stampin' Up! to make shakers, but they're very thin. And when you're going to make a shaker, you need some heft, you need some thickness, so that between this area right here, see how I don't know if you can tell, but I doubled the foam, and I just used those little narrow strips. But today I got out that Scotch brand, and I just doubled it back on itself and cut it into strips. And I'm going to just put it down. Just like that. And you just basically make a box around your window. And you can make this box as small as you want. Like, you do not need to have this giant part here. Like, you can make your window, you know, you can use your adhesive close to your window if you want. I have another piece. And the main thing is you don't want any escape doors on here. If you're making a shaker, you need everything to, all your little pieces to touch, because you don't want a gap between where you're putting pieces together, or else you will lose your shaker bits, okay? It's super important. It's like, why even make a window if you're gonna let all your stuff leak out? So just put everything really nicely together. And then I'm gonna use the rest of this foam as support for the rest of my card. So I just have a couple more pieces. I'll just put this here. And I'll put this one here. And that way, no shaker bits are gonna be in that area, but that way my card won't be like squishy. That makes sense. All right, I'm peeling all the backings off of these. Now, this Scotch brand tape that I bought at Daisy Lane, I noticed it's not as sticky as some of my other foam tapes. Like, some of my foam tapes are so sticky that the second you touch them, they are stuck to you. Like, you barely touch them and you're dragging them all over the place. This stuff is not that way. And so I'm going to go ahead and put some extra dots of glue on here. And that'll help me with the backing anyway. Okay. All right, let's fill it. Fill it, fill it. I have tons of these gold sequins from Close to My Heart, and I absolutely love them. And I'm just going to put some inside. However, you know, it's always a hard decision how many to put in, but the main thing is that when you put them in, you squish them as flat as possible. That way you don't get like a big bunch. Now in this card, the sequins are clear and they're so small that they can bunch up and you don't really notice, but these giant sequins do tend to clump a little bit, like they'll stack on each other, and then they get stuck if your foam's not very thick, if that makes sense. So I spread it out. I try to make it like almost like frosting over the whole window. And then we're just gonna lay our backing in place and kind of rub along that foam. I love to make shakers. You guys know I love make shakers. But you know, shakers are expensive to mail. You have to pay the extra postage for these because they're anything over 1/4 inch thick, you're paying. But it's worth it at Christmas because, I mean, really, look how cool that is. Do you love it? I love it. I just love it. All right, so now we have a couple of things I want to do. I got out the gold thread because one of the things about this card, it had a loop and we threaded the gold thread through and then tacked it to the back. I'm going to use my good old Scotch tape because it doesn't have to be fancy. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I have my washer and dryer going over here. I have a Samsung and it's playing the song. It plays a song when it finishes. I had to look it up online because I was like, what is it doing? I had no idea. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my tape runner adhesive and I'm gonna put it right over the top of both of the ornaments, okay? I just put a little glob there and a little glob there, and all I'm gonna do is put my gold thread here and stick it into the glob, and I need one for both ornaments, so ta-da! So I have one on this ornament and one on this ornament. Now I'm gonna tighten them up and wrap them to the back and use my tape to tape them down. This isn't like, you know, a work of art that people are gonna keep forever. Scotch tape is just fine. Okay, and then on the front, I'm just gonna wiggle those straight again. Now I'm ready to adhere my card to the base and get this all put together. All right, let me get out all my little pieces. So I'm just gonna dump those out. All right, all my little decorating pieces. I really need to get I have a couple of different tools for pickup tools, and I don't know what happened to my other one. I set it down somewhere. It's in a pile. It's in a pile. All right, so I'm gonna first put the gold on. Whenever I use metallic paper, I don't like to use liquid glue as much because some metallic cardstocks are really thin, and when you put that bead of glue, for some reason it really shows with the shine through the other side. Heather, have you looked up that song and what it is and what it means? I had to Google it, and I guess gosh, I can't remember the story behind it, but there's a story behind that song. But I've heard it so many times now that I can hum it. It's really weird. I have washer and dryer problems this week again. My dryer quit heating. Okay, before I put this on, I want to make sure this is the right direction. Okay. And I'm just gonna use my liquid glue. That way I can wiggle this around and make sure my borders look nice. I love it. Look how pretty. Wow. There's something about the gold around Christmas time. So I don't know. I was just like, what is that weirdo song? I have no idea. I had to know. So I looked it up. Okay. Now I'm going to use these pieces. I'm going to stick them down. I think I want this big one up here. So I would, you know how I am about foam tape. I would use foam tape, but the card is already so darn thick from this shaker part. Okay. I have this other one. I don't know if I need it or not. I kind of like that. All right. So I'm going to put a glob of glue here and a glob of glue here. And I'm going to put the topper on here. And we want it to cover up. We want it to cover up that gap, and we want the string, you know, hanging, looking like it's hanging from it. So that's really good, just like that. And then we have this one, just like that. Ta-da! Wow, that's really pretty. Okay, and now we have this Merry Christmas, and I definitely want this down here at the bottom. Like that. And the Mary, I toyed with messing around with this, putting it up here, putting it down here. Okay, so I had him out looking at my washing machine like, what, 2 weeks ago? Because it was making this noise like a jackhammer. And he said, it's most likely the shocks going out on it because my dryer is over 25 years old. And, you know, at some point, it's like they die. You know, you have to replace them. And the newer ones are really bad about that. They die very fast, like within years. So I've been holding off on replacing it and just having him, you know, repair what he can. And then he fixed that, and then now my dryer is cold. Like it won't heat up, and I'm sure it's the heating element. I replaced that a while ago. All right, I'm gonna just put some dots of glue on here, and I have these are festive pearls. I think they're retired because I could be wrong, but I think I bought these at like Daisy Lane. Anyway, yeah, so when he comes out, it costs me about $80 each time he comes, but it's cheaper than buying a new washer and dryer. And right now, when you look up washer and dryers, there's no good brands to buy because they all have issues. And I'm like, so, I mean, I would have no problem replacing it if I knew what I was gonna replace it with. I like how these little teeny tiny, focus, these little tiny gold pearls look like berries. I love it. I love it. I love it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm making berries. The good thing is, since I have the house next door, I have another washer and dryer. I have to haul my laundry back and forth, but at least I have it. And, you know, it's not like there's laundromats everywhere. Okay, there's that. Isn't that sweet? Now, the other thing I want to add, I think it needs, you know, more. Of course it does. It needs more bling, so I'm going to do that really quick. And then I want to show you what I do with these two little ornaments real quick. These are close to my heart gems. I just love these things. And I just think they add a lot to a card. Love it so much. There we go. There's my version. What do you think? Did I do it justice? I think I like my version better. Oh, it's just, look. You know, this card right here has made me fall in love with this ornament set, because now I know I can do things with it and make it look really spectacular. And it's such a simple looking set. It doesn't look like anything, you know? It just looks plain. But man, that holly and berry kind of sold me on it. I really wanted it. And then I don't have any Stampin' Up! Ornaments, so I thought this one was really good. And I love the background. I love this embossing folder with it. Okay, let me show you what I did with these. I made another card, very similar. I'm just going to show it to you. With the leftovers. It's just beautiful. I should just buy it for you, Alice. That should be part of my thank you. It's become one of my favorites, really. Anyway, I was getting kind of tired of gold, so I decided to go with silver on this one. And so I used the silver foil instead of the gold. I used a little bit of the Harbor colored ink in the background because I really liked that kind of deep blue. And then to make it silver, there's a couple different things you can do. Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with these rub-ons. These are old, but you can certainly use something like this. Hero Arts has wax. There's a lot of products out there. This wax is it's like a liquid, almost like a putty liquid paint. It's almost like a paint. And I use a sponge to apply it. You can kind of see it's kind of like gloppy, like a thick paint. I can't think of anything that's the same texture. It's a lot thicker than frosting. And then you can dab it on. You can rub it over the top of your embossing. Here, I can just do it on one of them and show you, since I'm just playing. You can just kind of rub it over like this. And get like a metallic-y, it's very shiny. I don't know if the shininess shows up on camera, but it is like wowzers. Isn't that pretty? So that's one option. And it is kind of fun to, you know, use a product like this. Although it's kind of messy. The other product that I've had for many years is this rub-on pack, and you just basically use a dauber or your finger. And what color should we make this? I have blue, I have purple. How about blue? I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried it for a while. The heat from your hands kind of softens it a little bit. And you get it on your finger, and once it's on there, it'll probably be on your finger for a while. And then I'm just brushing my hands across the top, or my finger across the top, and catching that raised area. And so cool, so cool. And you can keep going darker and darker, you know. Gosh, it's so pretty, you guys. There, I'll show you the full force of it. Boy, whoo, maybe I should have made them blue instead. God, that's really pretty. Okay, and then the other thing that I did was of course I took a shimmer brush. You may not be able to see that. Oh, there, you can kind of see just how shiny those are. Yeah, I put shimmer brush on the whole thing because it's pretty. So you can just shimmer brush that down. And then again, on the blue, I'm just gonna shimmer it up. All right, and then let's see if you can see the shimmer. You can kind of see it shimmering a little bit there, right? Anyway, isn't that pretty? And then, you know, and then I just put it on my card. How gorgeous. Yeah, I like the silver a lot. And the gold is really pretty too, but I needed silver. And so there's my silver card. Okay, there's those. Now, here's the deal with Friday. I currently have nothing planned Friday during the day. I am not sure yet if I can go live Friday morning. I might. It depends on what I have going on Thanksgiving night. And then Friday night at 6 p.m. Central, I'm going live, and I'll show you the paper that I decided to use. I'm gonna get rid of those. This is the one I settled on to make Christmas cards. This is the Simple Stories, Simple Vintage, 'Tis the Season. And you can see the papers they're kind of formal. They're kind of fancy, but I think I'll be okay. And I have a lot of the cards to use and little ephemera and stuff. And I'm just gonna do a couple of real basic card bases so that I'm not confusing the heck out of everybody. Like, I think there was one where I made like 4 different card bases, and I decided I'm just gonna simplify it a little and just make a couple. So I hope that you can join me Friday night, because it would be fun. So there we go. Thanks for watching, you guys. I hope that you like these cards. Bye-bye.